Hi, I'm Karen. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you some of my cool decks. This is a video response to Kelly at Kelly Read Stuff for her tag, my 5 coolest decks. I tried to rank mine in order, but I just cannot do it. So I'm going to show them in no particular order and tell you why I think they are so cool. Let's get started. The first cool deck I have to show you is Unfinished Business, a Ghostly Tarot by MJ Cullinane. These are the beautiful backs. And this deck has MJ Cullinane's wonderfully expressive artwork, which is cool in itself. But what really makes this cool deck for me is the premise of the deck. In the guidebook, there is a story for each of these ghosts that are in the cards. Each of these ghosts had an untimely death, either at someone else's hands or through some misguided actions of their own. And for whatever the reason, they left behind unfinished business. And what's so cool is the way MJ Cullinane connects that unfinished business with the meaning of the card. At first I didn't really get it, but as I thought about the meaning of unfinished business, untimely deaths, I saw it for what it was, a cautionary tale. So she talks about these people who did not get to finish their business. And then she talks about the meaning of the card and gives you advice and encouragement about learning a lesson from these stories. And it's just so beautifully woven together. It's really cool. So this is my cool deck, Unfinished Business by MJ Cullinane. My next cool deck is Todd Alcott's Horror Tarot. This is a really cool deck that is themed around vintage horror movies, movie posters, comic books, and paperbacks from mostly, I think, the 50s, 60s, 70s. That's what it looks like to me. But they are so cool. I love the way that he really follows the theme of some of the old horror comic books. Oops, nudity. These are all comic books, it looks like, but they're some great movie posters. Here's one. Looks like an old movie poster from a scary movie. And then a lot of them look like the paperback covers. It's just so cool. I grew up loving scary movies, the older scary movies when I was a little girl. This looks like something from the 50s. And they used to have a show on Friday nights on a local channel when I was a little girl. And I would spend the night with my cousins and we'd stay up and watch it. It was called Chiller. And we'd watch these old movies, I guess what they call B movies, I think. You know, really poorly acted and bad special effects, but we loved them. And this kind of reminds me a lot of that. And we had a lot of the horror comics too. Comics were a big thing. And I think now that's mostly graphic novels, but I think that there's still a lot of horror comics around. I just downloaded one on my Kindle. I think it's called maybe The Lady in the Lake, something like that. I'm not sure, but it was popped up on my Kindle Unlimited, and I was like, oh, this sounds fun. So anyway, this is a very cool deck, if you ask me. And I would like to have all of Todd Alcott's decks because he has, I think I've seen Pulp Tarot, and then he has a sci-fi one, and they both are beautifully themed too. That looks just like a movie poster from the 70s. I don't remember which movie exactly, but maybe The Towering Inferno. This is the tower. I think maybe that was the movie. Anyway, beautifully done and so cool. Todd Alcott's Horror Tarot. My next cool deck is Crystal Keys Tarot. This is by Dina Rosenberg with artwork by Amelia Drews. And this is a cool deck because crystals are so cool. I am a big fan of crystals. I fell for crystals before I even knew anything about tarot. Crystals actually led me to tarot, watching crystal YouTube videos. Some of the YouTubers would talk about tarot, and that's how I discovered tarot. But this deck took me a couple of years to find. I was really picky about a crystal deck because I do love crystals so much. And none of the decks really felt right. Then I saw this one on Shanna D's channel, and I took another look at some of the cards and ordered it right away. And I love it. This is my crystal deck. I don't need any more because this one's perfect. I've done several videos on this deck, so I won't go on and on too much about it. But if you like crystals and you haven't seen this deck, I've done a walkthrough of it. I did a video showing some of my crystals with the deck, the ones that I have. And I'm sure there are many, many other wonderful videos out there that you can find on this deck. I feel like if you're a crystal lover and a tarot lover, this is a deck you should definitely take a look at. One of the coolest things, I think, is the way they combined the beautiful crystal look with the tarot card, and both just merged so perfectly. Every card looks like the tarot card and the crystal. So cool. Crystal Keys Tarot by Dina Rosenberg with art by Amelia Drews. My next cool deck is my newest deck, A Riffle in Time Tarot by Cassandra. A Riffle in Time here on YouTube. And she also has an online tarot shop by the same name, A Riffle in Time. This deck is so cool for many reasons. I think the main reason is Cassandra herself. She is a beautiful soul. Her energy just makes me so happy. I love watching her videos. I love shopping at her shop. She has a beautifully curated selection of cards that she carries. And I just knew when she came out with her own deck that it would be wonderful. And it is. One of the things I love is each card has a keyword. And she chose her keywords using the book Unlocking the Tarot by Lisa Pepez. And I did the same. I have that same book and used it for picking my keywords. So a lot of our keywords are the same. If you are someone who thinks you would benefit from having a keyword for each of your tarot cards, then I highly recommend that book. It's a fun book. Lisa has so much tarot knowledge, but she is so just relaxed about how she presents it, and it's written so well. Cassie also used that book. Another thing I love about this deck is you can use it as a tarot or an oracle. She has the tarot meanings down here, the tarot card, and then of course you have the keywords if you just want to use it as an oracle. I use it as both in the same readings. I use some of the cards for the tarot meaning and some of the cards just as an oracle with the keyword and the image. The collage images are perfection for each of these cards. I don't need the digital guidebook. It does have a digital guidebook, but I haven't even downloaded it because I can just sink into these images, use my intuition, use the keyword, use what I know about the card, and that's all I need. I've had some amazing readings with this deck, both privately and on this channel. It's just an amazing deck, and it's so cool, and I love it. A Riffle in Time Tarot by Cassandra, A Riffle in Time. Then the last cool deck I have to talk about today is Bone Stone and Earth Flesh Tarot. This is by Avalon Cameron with artwork by Anna Torian. This is the Reawakening, which is the mass market version of this deck. And it is so cool. The first thing that is so cool about this deck is Anna Torian's art. I adore her art so much. It's beautiful, her use of color, her line work, everything. It feels like everything is in motion. It feels like you could just step into the landscape and meet these people. I adore it. I didn't know anything about Avalon Cameron until I got this deck. I bought it based on Anna Torian's artwork, but I was so pleasantly surprised when I saw this. This is the guidebook. This is written by Avalon Cameron, and it's amazing. One thing that's really cool is there is a little name or phrase or title above each of the card names. This one is Scylla. This is the extra card. And I looked up how to pronounce this, but I've forgotten now, so there it is. And it has the meaning in here of that. This is Lady of Leaves for the Empress. And then in the guidebook, which is amazing, you get, of course, your regular card title. Then you have that title or name above that. Then you have a regular traditional setup of in the reading, but the way Avalon Cameron writes this is beautiful also. And after that, or here in this one, it's as a person. It talks about the king. And then here, all of the cards have a narrative. This is about King Arthur because that was our name on this card. And it tells all about that, which is so cool. When I got this and saw this book, I was just blown away. It says in the beginning, the deck is Bone Stone The book is called Earth Flesh. And if ever there was a guidebook that deserved its own name, this is it. This book is 380 pages of wonderful information and stories and connections, and it's so, so cool. Those are my 5 coolest decks. I did have a little bit of trouble choosing. I have some other decks that I thought, but this one is so cool too. But I did narrow it down to this 5. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have a channel, I hope you'll consider picking out some of your coolest decks and doing your own tag video. And if you don't have a channel, maybe in the comments below you can tell me what some of your coolest decks are. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.